The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Hey, Trevor, remember 8 or 9 months ago, around 4:20 p.m. on a Wednesday, I said the Canucks should trade Brock Boeser for salary cap relief? Remember that? Welcome to Locked On Canucks!
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Against all odds, your Vancouver Canucks did it. Just win, baby. Down 3-1 with a couple minutes to go. Somehow, some way, the Canucks pulled off, beating the Nashville Predators 4-3, taking a 3-1 series lead. I can't believe we're here, but here we are talking about it on another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, also a Canucks writer currently with Daily High Vancouver. Had the post-game article tonight. Look, Kyle, I had written the entire headline. The Canucks, lose the Predators, lack shots. I had the Pedersen getting rocked in the thumbnail, and I had to delete it all. And thank God I had to delete it. Again, I can't believe the Canucks won this game. We're going to talk about the good and the bad because there was quite a bit of bad to get to as well. We'll try to get to all of it here on Locked On Canucks. Before we do that, we got to shout out our friends over at Monopoly Go, okay? That's who the episode is sponsored by today, and I admit it, I have a competitive side, and is a big fan of Monopoly Go. The mobile hit twist on classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now free on the App Store or Google Play. Brock Boeser, Elias Lindholm, Artur Shilovs lead the Canucks to an improbable Game 4 win. Let's break it down with my co-host, Kyle Bhawan. Kyle, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I watched that game with my girlfriend, okay? And it was 3-1 when she left. And what happened after? Again, a miracle. Do the math. Never watching a game with her again. Anyways, I'm doing this episode at the Burnaby Gardens, different setup, because we had to do this last minute. There may not be an episode tomorrow. Okay, we got some life stuff to take care of. That being said, the Canucks are life, okay? The Vancouver Canucks are life. And if that's the case, we may do it. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, right? This team is definitely the most surprising team in hockey. Definitely the most entertaining team in hockey. Boom, bam. Artur Shilovs gets called into action right when I wake up. Straight up, what a weird time. I thought I was dreaming, bro. I thought I was dreaming. And I thought I was dreaming again, but this time in a nightmare when I saw the Canucks do what they did for 58 minutes. And that's absolutely no show against a team full of Anthony Beauvilliers. Straight up. This conversation could go in so many different ways, and we may still touch on all those points that are somewhat concerning because, again, Michael Macaroon, is that his name, is playing better than Elias Pettersson. A lot better than Elias Pettersson. This is scary. That being said, we won today, yo. Trevor, don't you feel alive, baby? Don't you feel alive, bro? Let's go, dude. Let's go. What a comeback. What a miracle. And I know you want to talk about Brock Boeser off the jump, but can I just say something? Can I just say something about somebody else? Man, oh man, okay? My captain, Quinn Hughes playing with one shoulder. Quinn Hughes going into the third period, played only 12 minutes in that game, obviously injured, but what does he do? What does he do? Down 3-1, he tells Rick Tocchet, I'm paraphrasing, I don't even know if this is true. It's not true, but I'm pretty sure he did it. He told Rick Tocchet, yo, play me for the rest of the period. And what did he do? He played 5.5 minutes over the last 7.5 minutes of that game. Instrumental in us coming back. That's a captain. That's a warrior. And these are your Vancouver Canucks, man.
Embrace the pain, right? That's what Tocchet was saying as the playoffs started. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw Quinn Hughes on the bench towards the end of the first period, I'm not sure if he was embracing the pain. He looked just incredibly uncomfortable, misses a couple shifts. Obviously, all eyes on that. And yeah, it didn't feel like the strongest game for Hughes through two periods. He's actually finishes the night as one of the only Canucks with, a positive shot differential at even strength. A lot of that because of the flurry late in the game. Yeah. But he was getting rocked on a lot of hits. Obviously, him and Pedersen, a bit of miscommunication on the Canucks' first goal of the game. But man, oh man, Kyle, like you said, when it really mattered, Quinn Hughes stepped up, playing most of the final 7 minutes of the game and, helping the Canucks score 2 goals. The Canucks, again, this stat is crazy. Over at Money Puck, the Canucks apparently, before they scored the tying goal, had a 0.4% chance of winning this game. So, obviously this is an improbable win, but that number is shocking. And again, Quinn Hughes, a big part of it, but Brock Boeser, man, Brock Boeser going into hero mode for your Vancouver Canucks. And, we talked a lot about Miller. Obviously, Miller has, it looks like he might be channeling his inner Ryan Kesler now, 6 points in 4 games. But Brock Boeser with 4 goals in 4 games, the hat trick tonight. And, he had the quote after game about how he thought he lost the game, right? I thought he lost it too when he missed that empty net. But for him to, have the wherewithal to pull that pack back up into his forehand and bury that goal for the hat trick, it was a magical moment, man. I had my son in my arms. It was crazy, man. My son and I, obviously the Canucks were losing, put on the Canuck jerseys in the second intermission, and it was magical, man. Magical moment for Canucks fans.
Well, I'm really happy that you got to share that moment with your son, real talk, because I feel as if that's one you're taking to the grave, for real. Not to get dark, because I know you're going to survive for another 75 years, real talk. If you don't know Trevor Beggs, this guy's here till he's 106 years old, okay? This guy takes care of himself. Anyways, Brock Boeser taking care of himself, real talk. And this is another guy who may be injured, right? A lot of rumors towards the end of the season. He's playing with something, but he's taking care of business. He don't care. His will to win, his will to support the team and not the individual is on full display, straight up. The effort level on this guy all season long has been one of a two-way player, a really good two-way player, one that I did not think existed in a guy like Brock Boeser. And then you brought up that third goal, right? What does he do? He misses the opportunity, and he has the smarts to drag it back to the front of the net and chip it past Saros, but it's also him having the effort level to do it, not getting frustrated, not putting his head up in the air, right? Just sticking with it. Brock Boeser, man, he is turning into the ultimate Canuck. He really is one of those guys. And it's not surprising because I think this guy has a lot of pride. That's obvious, right? He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's been tagging along with JT Miller game after game after game after game after game since September. And that's astonishing too. Like, Canucks fans, you know the deal, man. Real talk. And it wasn't just me saying this. It was a lot of pundits in the city saying this, okay? A lot of people did not want to see Brock Boeser and JT Miller play together. We saw that song and dance before. But the chemistry between these two offensively, I think it's actually looked really sharp in this Nashville series. Straight up, it's getting better. But I think the strongest point of the relationship is mentally, and the mentorship from JT Miller to Brock Boeser. Real talk, because Brock Boeser is turning into a complete player. He's going in front of the net, and I think that has a lot to do with JT Miller. Those guys are dogs, okay? JT Miller, 3 assists today. Brock Boeser, 3 goals. Man, oh man, that is a historic performance in Canucks history.
Yeah, the first hat trick by a Vancouver Canuck player in the playoffs since Trevor Linden in 1996. 28 years since a Canucks player had scored a hat trick. Kyle, you and I were still pooping our pants back then. Well, I think so at least.
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah, you know who pooped their pants was Colton Sissons, though. That's one that is making all the blooper reels now. Colton Sissons hitting the post with the empty net, and Quinn Hughes with the daft play to kind of sweep it away there, but. Honestly, man, I think we'll get into it more in the second segment here.
Colton Sissons, his second favorite team is definitely the Vancouver Canucks. I feel as if he made his family proud of that move, right? North Van kid. He's like, you know what? Let's not score this, man. Let's give my city something to cheer about, okay? Give them hope. That guy has a lot of West Coast bias. Anyways, what were you going to say, Trevor?
No, it just kind of, that play signified too how this might have been, one of the luckiest wins in Canucks playoff history, man. And I think we'll get more into it in the second segment, more of the, how the heck did the Canucks pull this off? Because there was a lot of reasons why they shouldn't have won that game. There was a reason why they had a 0.4 chance of winning the game. According to Money Puck in the dying minutes there. So,
yeah.
But one quick shout out first to Archer Shelovs. Okay, like a ton of drama entering today. Obviously, and Canucks fans were pretty shocked. Like I went on a walk with my son. Just go to the park, and on the way home right before the game starts, and these two neighbors are talking, and one guy's just like, dismiss her, and the neighbor's like, what? And then they're trying to pronounce Shelovs, and I was like, it's Archer Shelovs. And then, hey, who knows? Those guys needed to learn how to pronounce it because, what a performance by him. I mean, look, he had 9 career NHL starts until tonight against the Nashville Predators.
Yeah. But what's his record? What's his record? I know, like he has been not perfect, but he's 6-2-1 going into tonight's game. And let's be real. Tonight was his best performance as an NHL goaltender. I'm eliminating the whole moment thing. Oh, this is game 4 of the playoffs. All the eyes are on him. I'm just looking at him being calm, collected, not looking to make the magnificent save, just being so poised in there. And I saw a player tonight. I really did, because Nashville was going to take a lot of shots. They were going to pepper this guy, but he disabled frantic action, shot after shot after shot. He just kept it calm, cool, collected. And I honestly was surprised that the Vancouver Canucks never built off that, never gained any confidence that their third string goaltender was actually really good, straight up, because he was putting on a performance. And I know Brock Boeser scored a hat trick, but this could have been a 4-1 game. It could have been a 5-1 game. This guy's a third string goaltender. You know what I'm saying? Playing in an arena that's actually a really good American arena, one of the best, if not the best. Cheering at it, like, or not cheering, but literally yelling at him, "You suck, you suck, you suck," the whole way through. And dude, he came up huge, man. I was so impressed. And Beggsy, I know I cut you off, but I had to do it so I could ask this question. If DeSmith is healthy, a guy who literally said he'd rather play on the road, who are you starting in game 5?
Whew. It depends on the health of DeSmith, but I would probably start Casey DeSmith in game 5 if they're both ready to go. I mean, as good as Artur Shilov's was tonight, Casey DeSmith really earned the right to play again after a great performance in game 3 as well. But make no mistake, I mean, DeSmith and Shilov's, they stopped 58 of 62 shots here on the road for your Vancouver Canucks. I mean, they were both big reasons why the Canucks improbably have won both games here in Nashville. But Kyle, it was really an improbable win. So let's talk about why it was so improbable on the other side. Before we do that, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel and Game Time. All right, you know what time it is. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. And hey, I got to shout you out if you've been listening to these ad reads, you signed up for FanDuel, and you threw some money on the Canucks in the third period. Those fan desperation bets that don't always work. Well, this one would have paid big for you tonight again. Yeah, the Canucks, man, oh man, 0.4 of a chance to win this game in the dying minutes.
Damn.
Unbelievable stuff from your Vancouver Canucks.
Bro,
Unbelievable stuff. You made that bet.
Yeah, if you made the bet, I think the odds at the end before Brock Boeser scored his second goal at the end of the third period was plus 2,200 for the Canucks to come back and win. Think about that, Trevor.
Could have made some. Too bad I was busy dancing with my son, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anyways, what for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. All right, you know the deal. Me, Beggsy, I'm a big last minute deals guy, and I'm cheap. And I know that when I want to get tickets at the last minute, I'm using Game Time. You know why? Because they got the lowest price guarantee. You can't beat that, okay? And for you lucky sons of a gun that are going to Game 5, congratulations. If you don't have your tickets, make sure you go check out Game Time, okay? Because on Game Time, you can get views from the seats, you can get flash deals, you can get zone deals. And again, they got the lowest price guarantee, okay? You can't beat it. Just like the Canucks goaltenders, man. You can't beat them either. Unbelievable stuff. Smith, Shilov's, Game Time, all getting it done. Okay, make sure you go download the Game Time app, create an account, Locked On NHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Locked On NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
People, we back doing this at the Burnaby Gardens, okay? A place powered by Five God and the Don't Doze Art Collective. We doing it out here. If the internet is a bit choppy on today's feed, that's my fault, okay? It is what it is. It's not Trevor's fault this time. It's my fault. And we'll fix it throughout the week. We have to make this makeshift episode up because tomorrow morning we may not be here, okay? We may not be here. And that's not a Deepak Chopra-like testament. It's just because I got to get my taxes done, okay? Anyways, the Canucks got business done today, and they did it in improbable fashion. And I don't know what's more improbable, us winning this game or Elias Pettersson snapping out of this slump, because today it was more evident than ever that he's not just struggling, he's a liability right now. Straight up. There was one play in the second period. We're down 2-1, I think. I think we may have been on the power play. He gives up the puck. This guy's not even back checking. Because, again, I brought this up with Brock Boeser, okay? The effort level. The notion that you're doing whatever it takes for the team. AKA, yo, who cares if you're not going? Who cares if you're not going? You got to do whatever it takes for the team. And it's astonishing to me how, again, the Canucks are up 3-1 in this series with Elias Pettersson absolutely being nothing offensively. And quite honestly, I think it's more surprising that he's also been pretty lackluster defensively as well, which is weird because going into the season, we're talking Selke when we're talking Elias Pettersson. All in all, it's a miracle that we've gotten this far with this type of performance from Mr. 11.6.
You know what, Kyle? If you would have told me that prior to this series, the Canucks, we get to game 4 and the Canucks would be at 3-1 with Artur Sheilov starting and Elias Pettersson being an absolute no-show and even a liability, like you said, you know what? I would have actually said that's kind of believable because I still look at this Canucks team and you can kind of see why they are beating Nashville Predators. They didn't deserve to walk away from Nashville with 2 wins. Let's be frank about it.
Dude, we should be down 3-1.
Well, I think the series, like, realistically, probably should be tied 2-2. And I know, you know, they get outshot pretty bad in game 3 as well. But I think, you know, they probably they tightened it up enough where they probably were fortunate to walk away with 2 wins, but 1 win I could see coming. But anyways, again, I think overall, just tonight was just so improbable of a win. Again, Pettersson was brutal. You know, the Canucks are being outshot 30-16 with a couple minutes left before they turn it on. And Kyle, the Canucks have 71 shots in 4 games. How is that even possible?
Breaking records.
71 shots in 2 games. Kyle, yeah, exactly. Kyle, like you said, it's a playoff record, and the Canucks again are averaging less than 18 shots per game right now. It's pretty wild.
And yeah, look at this comment from King Kino. Shout out to all the commenters. We'll get to some of them at the end of the episode or throughout the episode. And King Kino is saying a win is a win no matter what. I know that. That's why I'm happy. That's why I'm celebrating. I know. But when you're thinking about the long game and also the moment, like this year's version of the Stanley Cup playoffs, this team definitely has to kick it up another level because that is an embarrassing stat. If we were the Arizona Coyotes or if we were the Nashville Predators and we had that stat, maybe it would make a little bit more sense. But based on that, this team has 6 All-Stars straight up, and that's the type of 5-on-5 play that they're establishing. It's actually very troubling and also just blatantly embarrassing. Straight up. It is. Bro, we're 2 minutes away from, like, being so confused on how this is happening. You know, we be talking about Talkett's line combinations and whatnot. And even on that note, Trevor, I got to ask this, and I think it's the truth. I know coaches barely fix a winning lineup, but considering the fact that up until the 2-minute mark of game 4, the Vancouver Canucks were going to play 6 periods in Nashville where they got 28 shots on goal. You know what I'm saying? So I got to ask you this, Trevor, because I think this is going to be the case. Rick Tocchet, he's going to make some lineup changes, isn't he? Because I think he has to.
Well, I kind of think he has to shake up the Pettersson line in general, and to do that is obviously there's a domino effect because a big reason why the Canucks are struggling right now in terms of shots on goal is the fact that Pettersson, again, not just isn't going, but isn't it's almost a liability out there. And again, it's not just him; it's Höglander and Mikheyev on that line right now too. You know, they both had their moments. Mikheyev, with some, showed his legs at points in this game. Höglander almost gets a goal there with the wraparound attempt. But overall, according to Natural Stat Trick, that line, when all 3 players were on the ice, didn't record a shot on goal. And it was the same in game 3, right? So that line has gone a total of 2 road games, according to Natural Stat Trick, without recording a shot on goal. And that's just not good enough in the playoffs, man, honestly. And, you look at this road trip too, and I know the Lindholm, Joshua, Garland line, they combined for the winning goal in overtime. But overall in games 3 and 4, that line wasn't really going offensively either. Not like they were the first 2 games at home. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some changes made. But honestly, Kyle, the only logical choice to be right now seems to be, you bump Lindholm up to Pettersson's line and you put Blueger on the third line because Like the idea of moving Lafferty or DiGiuseppe up the lineup doesn't do a lot for me. And, the Suter Miller Betcher line has been pretty solid so far. You could maybe replace Suter on that line with somebody, but
No
like,
way.
did DiGiuseppe go back up there? Again, it's just not really that attractive an option. So I think Lindholm going to the top line or the Pettersson line is the most likely option, and Blueger going to the third line. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it's a 50-50 proposition because Tocchet again wasn't happy post game. But coaches rarely do change a winning lineup, like you said.
He's switching things up. We saw something from the fourth line today again. They played pretty well the whole game. DiGiuseppe, Lafferty, Blueger, they did what they could. But a little detail that I made note of is Sam Lafferty lining up for a faceoff in the defensive zone. And the only reason he didn't take that faceoff is because he got kicked out. So that's telling me that the coaching staff may trust him at center to roll a different type of fourth line and potentially move Blueger up with Garland and Joshua and give Lindholm the responsibility of being the number 2 center and moving Pettersson to the wing. Because, again, we brought this up 10 minutes ago. You want your centerman to be motivated, to be one of those guys who puts their head down and hustles back. And right now, the amount of confidence Pettersson is equating for is leading him to, again, give off horrible body language and show a lack of effort. Like, yo, dude, that's scary because that's not a part of Pettersson's fabric. Again, a lot of new Canucks fans or a lot of closeted Canuck fans coming out during playoff time, probably experiencing Pettersson for like the first or second time. And you can connect like the European thing, the Sweden thing, and be like, oh yeah, this guy doesn't care, blah, blah. That's not Elias Pettersson. This dude cares. But right now, he's overthinking it. He's lost in his head. And I feel bad for him. I kind of feel bad for him, bro, because when is it going to change? Like, again, you're not only are you getting so outplayed by a guy like Pius Suter. Pius Suter is way more important to the Canucks right now. You know what I'm saying? than Pettersson. It's just the truth based on how he's playing. You're also getting outplayed by Michael Macaroon. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Sucker and Anthony Beauvillier. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me, bro. That's crazy. Oh, man. This guy needs to go to Amsterdam Cafe. Pettersson, man, you need to go to Amsterdam Cafe, okay? Just chill there with some black coffee and relax, dude. Relax.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he can relax in Game 5. But we're saying that every game, and it hasn't happened yet. But
I know.
Kyle, a couple of things we did say, or one thing we did say before the playoffs started was that we talked about X factors, right? And I'm going to shout out one guy after the break, but I'm going to shout out the 2 players right now who said were the X factors coming into the playoffs. I said this on the crossover Locked On Preds as well, and it was Elias Pettersson and Elias Lindholm. And obviously Pettersson, we've talked about it ad nauseum, has not really showed up in this series. Elias Lindholm has in a big way, and I know, again, I said it before, that line wasn't as dominant or as good as they were at even strength on the road as they were at home. But Elias Lindholm in general, man, stepping up, looking more physical, looking engaged, looking good on the penalty kill. And again, he scores a couple of goals, including the overtime winner in this game.
Sorry to cut you off again. The Wi-Fi's giving us some problems. My bad on that. Just chopping up a bit. But again, 15 for 20 on faceoffs. That's Lindholm's stat line today. So in a quiet performance offensively before overtime and whatnot, or before the last 2 minutes of the game, even when Lindholm got that assist to Boeser on the second goal, he was doing something. He was a plus in one thing, dominating in the faceoff draw. And man, just to see him score that goal, it was like, I'll say this, Canucks fans. I know right now, one left to the super chat from Jacob. We'll get to that very soon. But one thing that we've been saying, day in and day out, you can call it delusion and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we're being homers, blah, blah, blah. We got all that West Coast bias plugged into us. Man, I'm telling you, I've watched a lot of sports. There is something special about the story that is being written about this team. You know what I'm saying? Look at that comeback and then look at who scored the overtime winner. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was Lindholm, the other Elias. Boom, bam, scrutinized player. Gave up a boatload for him. And for him to do that, man, oh man, that was a huge goal because this team is banged up. They got some things they got to figure out in practice. And if there's any team in the NHL that needs, to win a game in 5 series, it's the Vancouver Canucks. That was a huge goal. Huge goal.
Oh, we talked about it before this series, Kyle, but one of the big edges Vancouver had was at center. And again, even without Pettersson going, I'm going to go out there and say that Miller and Lindholm are better than any centers the
Ooh.
Predators have on their roster. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm taking a shot at Ryan O'Reilly there, who, again, that line played well again tonight, but Lindholm's been so consistent, so solid for the Canucks. And again, with Miller and Lindholm going down the middle, again, the Canucks can beat this Nashville Predators team without Elias Pettersson. And they're doing it right now, somehow, some way. Let's get to some comments to wrap up the show. I also want to shout out one other X Factor guy you're not thinking about, but I thought he had quietly a really stellar performance. Let's wrap
Okay.
up the show on the other side after shouting at our friends at Monopoly Go. All right. You know me, Trevor Beggs. I'm a cheap. Okay, no, my bad. Wrong ad read. I'm a competitive guy. And I know on Monopoly Go, it brings up my competitive side, okay? In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get, including unique stickers you can trade with a friend to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, and hilarious emojis for taunting friends. Smash that poop button when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events to help you win big, like massive multiplayers for everything you win or rent freezes. There's always something fun to discover with Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on.
Okay, we back over here at the. Damn, something happened behind me, man. I think is there a burglar in the studio or something? Anyways, I'm at the Burnaby Gardens doing this. Shout out to Five Guys, shout out to Don't Doze Art Collective, shout out to the Locked On Podcast Network, and shout out to Trevor Beggs, man. Doing this late on a Sunday night. There's a reason why Trevor's gonna live up to 105 years old. That's because he's been sleeping at 8 p.m. since he turned 24. Okay, real talk. It's a key to life. Anyways, we're here doing this. Obviously excited about everything that's going around the Vancouver Canucks. Maybe you just heard some pessimistic energy over the last 10 minutes. We're just trying to dissect what is going on, because this team should not be up 3-1. And it's not even based on the way they're playing. It's based on the fact that they've used 3 goaltenders in 4 games. You know what I'm saying? That's nuts. And 3 goaltenders against a Nashville team, yes, on paper, not offensively sexy, but they're bringing it. They're doing their thing. They brought it towards the end of the season. They're putting shots on goal right now against your Vancouver Canucks. And one thing that's coming to the forefront, and I don't know if a lot of us are talking about this because we're being too friendly to the Canucks and their decor, but I definitely see cracks in the decor. Not because of the personnel, but because Nashville is just buzzing. Nashville is just buzzing, bro. The forecheck is heavy. They're delivering checks. Our forwards are not clogging up the middle, slowing them down, and they need some help. They definitely do. That being said, a huge X factor for me, right? We're talking about X factors here. Maybe I'm going to steal your thunder, but for me, it was Ian Cole, man. That was a huge play he made in overtime, man. Huge play. And
Yeah.
you talk about the play he made blocking a shot with his face during the last game. The one that he did in this game was even more special, okay? Keeping the play alive for Garland to feed the puck over to Lindholm. Boom, bam. Really, really impressed with playoff Ian Cole.
Honestly, you talk about there being cracks in the defense right now, and I'm going to push back on that a little bit because I
Go
do
ahead.
think for the most part, the Canucks have limited chances. The shot clock was kind of ugly in this one, but you look at scoring chances at even strength over the past couple of games, and they're pretty close to even. Nashville with a 14-13 edge tonight. They had an 18-14 edge at even strength in game 3. So the scoring chances are closer than the shot clock. And what was this Nashville team known for coming into the playoffs? A team that created a quantity of shots and chances, but not necessarily that, high octane quality. And Kyle, you were shouting at the defense too. And, Ian Cole, I thought he had a great game. Zadorov with 22 minutes tonight, earning the big minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually thought
Mhm.
Philip Hronek was a guy who looked like an X factor to me and really caught my eye
Nice.
tonight. Every time you see Hronek on a board battle, he almost always comes up with the puck. And that's just something we haven't seen a lot of in Vancouver over the past decade. But again, Hronek not necessarily getting on the score sheet offensively right now, but he's a great skater. He hustles back. And I find that when he is in a one-on-one board battle, almost always he ends up with the puck on his stick. So again, the decor in general looking pretty solid right now. We just shouted out, for the sticks on this episode so far. And I think Myers and Soucy are doing their part as well. I think they're looking fine. Lots of defense, lots of good defensemen overall too. Like when I look at Nashville, Josi and McDonough have been great, but also like Alexander Carrier and Jeremy Lauzon have both caught my attention. Both of them are really good skaters, and obviously Lauzon, led the league in hits this year, but he skates really well too.
Oh yeah. We mentioned what I said there. I think the defense is breaking down. I don't know if that's necessarily me only pointing the finger at the decor, but I think it's me talking about the team defense in general. And I know you can talk about the high danger scoring chances being the same and whatnot, the quality looks, but at the end of the day, you're getting outshot by double in back-to-back games. You know what I'm saying? It's a horrible look. I don't care what the fancy stats say. That's not good. It's just the truth. And here's the thing about them needing help. This is the scary thing about your Vancouver Canucks. Bro, there's another 2 levels to their game. We just haven't seen that yet. And let's fast forward to game 5, right? Before we get to the comments. If I'm a Predators fan, I'm all but guaranteeing myself that this series is over. How do you blow that knowing that the Canucks just beat you with 3 goaltenders? You outplayed them like crazy. And Pettersson and Quinn Hughes and company haven't really been firing yet. Like that game is coming. It really is. And you talked about Tocchet not being happy after 2 wins. They're getting to work when they get back home, and something's going to give. And I think it's going to happen in Game 5 at Rogers Arena.
On the flip side, though, if I'm the Nashville Predators, I'm saying, look, there's a couple other bounces go our way, and we're up 3-1 in this series, right?
Yeah, but they're not.
That's not.
But they're not. But they're not.
But I think you look at the Nashville and the guys they brought in, like the Lucians, the Ryan O'Reillys, the guys that have been there before in big moments. You got to take it one game at a time, and the veterans know that. Now, again, this Nashville team lacks skill. They're just not as talented as the Vancouver Canucks. But man, oh man, when you're the Canucks, and you're averaging 17 shots a game. You're not in a position to win. That's for sure, man.
Bro, I'm like, those guys are some motivated individuals. Obviously, they love the win. They're really in love with their effort over the last 5 minutes, right? It's that grit. It's that we don't break. We may bend, but we don't break, right? It's that attitude. That's some special energy, but they want to play better. And I think it would be so fitting for this team that needs a break to put on a show on Tuesday night in Rogers Arena. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like, score 5 goals, score 6 goals, make the score 6-2. You know what I'm saying? And that's still there. I know we haven't seen it, quote unquote, bubbling, but if they can get a good practice in and whatnot, some good conversations, who knows? Who knows? It may be coming. And again, if there's any team in the NHL that needs to end a series quickly, it's your Vancouver Canucks. Okay, let's get to the comments before we get out of here. One left at the Burnaby Gardens again for hosting us. Boom, bam, doing his thing. Jacob, man, saying thanks for the super chat. Look at him, man. Saying he's going to get a Lindholm jersey, bro. I'd hold off on that. Because, he may be gone in a couple months. Real talk, man. Just be patient, okay? Look at this comment from Ryan Hernandez. This guy is the Deepak Chopra of our fan base here on Locked On Canucks, okay? Something special is happening right now. Our third goalie just got us a win, and Brock Boeser, man, gets a hat trick. Brock Boeser, man, obviously a highly talented player. Shouldn't surprise us so much that he's the one scoring playoff goals, but based on what's been happening in his life over the last 2 years and the trade request and the father passing away and just, again, the emotional roller coaster that he's been on, to see him being one of our hardest working players and, again, converting on the score sheet is storybook like. Absolutely beautiful. How about this comment, though, okay? Trevor, answer this with your heart, okay? Get a little mad, okay? I know you're a father, but get a little mad. Nashville, man, is cheap for trying to take out our goaltenders. Man, oh, man. Michael Macaroon nails DeSmith. Fast forward to game 4. He's not playing. I know Rick Tockett's saying those two are not related, but I'm telling you, it's related.
Yeah, hey, it's when I watch hockey with my mom, she often says, like, that's karma. That's why the Canucks won. I think actually when the Canucks lost in game 2, she's like, that's karma, because they were, the fans were chanting Saros' name too early. So it's all about the karma with my mom. But
damn.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a dirty play, and it's interesting too. You've seen later in the series, Michael Macaroon, kind of shy away from contact and a confrontation with Nikita Zadorov. So a big man with, but he doesn't got the biggest gonads when he's out there compared to some of the other guys on the ice. So Again, your Vancouver Canucks doing the impossible, and they've been
Straight
throwing the
up.
body too, man. Like they've been a physical team despite big guys like Michael Macker running around and doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Dude. How about this? I know I'm just like daydreaming right now. I'm trying to think of this scenario. Can I ask you this question? I was gonna get to a comment, but there's so many right now, and my mind's all over the place. And I want to be selfish right now and ask Trevor this question, okay? Yo, to protect Quinn Hughes, I know Rick Tocchet likes his lefty righty thing, but why not put Nikita Zadorov with Quinn Hughes for Game 5, man? Real talk. You want to like. I didn't really like the lack of pushback. I know the Canucks maybe didn't want to take a penalty, but Quinn Hughes was being targeted. There has been very little pushback. Even when the Nashville Predators scored a goal and Pettersson got checked during the celebration, there's no pushback. I don't know what's that telling you about Pettersson's relationship with the Canucks right now. They're like, who cares? Just a fourth liner getting pushed down. Real talk. I wonder if we see Nikita Zadorov playing with Quinn Hughes.
Kyle, I kind of thought about that too, because why have the Canucks likes Hughes and Hronek together the whole year? It's a super pairing, right? Two of the best defensemen on the NHL in the same pair. Well, guess what? I think it's not even an argument. Quinn Hughes and Nikita Zadorov are the two best Canucks defensemen right now.
Yeah.
And, you put those two together. Hronek and Cole have quite a bit of experience playing together this season. Those two have mainly played on the PK together anyways. So if you have Zadorov, Hughes, Cole and Hronek and Susie Myers, I mean, to me, that defense looks pretty damn good. And again, man, I think Quinn Hughes deserves the protection and kind of needs the protection right now. And what better guy to do it than Nikita Zadorov, who's been scaring the crap out of everyone in the Nashville Predators roster so far in the series.
Well, dude, Rick Tocchet literally said that Nashville is running Quinn Hughes. And, bro, there was one play in the third period where Anthony Beauvillier literally followed Quinn Hughes 2 seconds after the puck left his stick just to lay the body on him. Just a bit. Let's look at this comment, okay? Boomscoom asking who is playing with one shoulder, okay? At the beginning of the episode, I did say Quinn Hughes is playing with one shoulder. There are reports that something's wrong with Quinn Hughes' shoulder, right? That could be the truth. We saw him miss a couple shifts, right? Holding that shoulder, grimacing. I'm pretty sure in the regular season he took one blow, and I remember seeing it. I was scared. But he's the captain of your Vancouver Canucks, and that's why they named him the captain of your Vancouver Canucks. He's going to lead by example. My captain, it's the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? What's that famous Trevor Linden quote? He'll play. He'll play. It's the same type of energy with Quinn Hughes. That is why the Vancouver Canucks are able to come back down 2 goals in a playoff game. Why? Because that guy's your leader. He doesn't look like an alpha. I told you I was watching the game with my girlfriend. She asked me 3 times if Quinn Hughes was crying. Literally. Because he doesn't look like that guy. But he's the alpha in that room. What a player. What a G. And we're not winning this game if it's not for Quinn Hughes. Anyways, Locked On Canucks. My name Kyle Bhawan. That right there, Trevor Beggs. Got to get out of here. Okay, Five God has to use the studio. Man, oh man. My homie, Big Love, is in the chat, okay? Big Love, the legend in Surrey, saying that the Canucks need to push back. Bro, how about you win a beer pong tournament, then start talking ish, okay? Anyways, join the Discord. Link in the bio. One love for you guys to watching the show. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go Canucks, go. Let's whoop some ass on Tuesday. And win this series, man, and give our boys a break.
Yeah, straight up. And again, we're nothing without you listening here on Locked On Canucks. Shout out to the everydayers, occasional listeners, first-time listeners, new subscribers, and those of you who join us on the live show on YouTube. We love each and every one of you. Go Canucks, go, baby. Again, the Canucks pulling off the impossible. Kyle, you mentioned the game on Tuesday. You and I, again, might not be recording tomorrow. We might not be back at this till Tuesday morning, but you know that we're going to be here, your Canucks, every day here on Locked On Canucks, and we'll be back before Game 5. But for now, we got to get out of here. Canucks win. Amazing, thrilling comeback win in OT. You won't forget it anytime soon. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Go Canucks, go, baby.